This video is going to cover the 9-foot seamless backdrop setup in my home studio, but this will apply if you have a single roll setup, you want 4 rolls just like I have. Most of these steps are going to be exactly the same. We're about to have a God meets Jesus moment. So far, the answer is yes. Come on. Oh, I didn't think this through. I went as big as I could because I have the space and I have the need to shoot larger items based on what I do. So for thumbnail photo shoots and also for talking head videos like this one, that's primarily what I'm going to be using this for. This is a DIY friendly project and I installed this by myself in a few hours. So hopefully with this video instruction, you can do the same. Speaking of instructions, the instructions that I got with some of the hardware that I purchased, pretty much useless. So hopefully this video helps you. As far as tools, you need a drill, a tape measure, and a stud finder. That's about it. I think that's all I used. And it's up behind me and it's working, so you should be able to do the same. Okay, well, that's it. So without further ado, here's the process. Thank you. Yes. Haha. The little things. Okay, well, I measured. Give myself a hand. You're also gonna need a mounting kit. The mounting kit is by Neewer. I'll link all this stuff in the description, don't worry, but it's a mounting kit that allows you to mount to the wall or to the ceiling. So no C-stands, no clunky things to trip over. That was very important to me because I'm gonna keep this up for at least for a while. This moves, so you actually have a few inches of play, so I wouldn't sweat this like I just did. I could have screwed this up here without doing any of this. Don't listen to me. What the hell do I know? Using the Kreg screws, risking it all by not taking an extra one. Fuck, that wasn't even intentional. That's why you take an extra screw. That was an organic lesson for us all. Okay, last one. This is a little awkward. No. Okay, take 2 extra screws. You are gonna have to get a couple of different types of screws, probably a scrap 2x4s or something like that, depending on your mounting situation. You absolutely wanna mount this into the studs or the ceiling joists. If you don't do that, and it falls off, you're gonna damage all of your nice seamless, and that would be a waste of time, and nobody likes that. The other screws I use is a Kreg screw. These I like because they're a pan head screw. The screw has a washer on it already, so it's a big flat reference point that will hold your bracket really securely. So you're gonna need a couple different types of screws. These poles go together pretty easily. Kind of doing it without even looking at directions. It won't pull apart more than 1/8 of an inch or so. So that's how these work. That's definitely the best way to do it. Obviously the paper's not on here yet. I'll do that. I'm just kind of doing a dry run. And also, these pipes are dirty. So if you're putting up your paper and you got super grubby hands, wash them. I'm cleaning these off because I don't want fingerprints on my paper. I didn't check if my ceilings were level, and I bet they're not. But my guess is that just doesn't matter. I'm just gonna hang it up. We need a home studio for video and product shots. We need this. You will of course need the seamless rolls. Mine are the 9-foot Savage rolls in white, black, gray, and a green screen. I feel like that gives me the spectrum that I'll need to use, but Savage makes a whole bunch of colors, so take a look at that. We don't have a full room to dedicate, so we're hoping that this is a good off-the-ground solution. I usually do a voiceover, and the dogs are looking at me like, who the fuck are you talking to, man? I'm talking to a camera. Okay, so I'm putting these on for the 4th time. I know that it looks terribly lit in here, and it is, but that's gonna be a second video. Those 3-part aluminum tubes, those reinforce the inside of the cardboard tube, and that prevents the
paper from sagging, which at 9 feet, it absolutely will sag over time. I was going to DIY it. I went to Home Depot and I purchased what I had done research on, which is a 2-inch conduit, because that was supposed to be cheaper, but due to the current price of goods, it's not cheaper. It's the same price. It's also heavier, and it requires that you take the paper off of the roll. That's a little bit of an aside, but in case you're looking for me to show you how to do that, I don't do that. I ended up buying it because it's the same price and it's much easier and lighter, so therefore a better setup. So I chose to do it at the beginning and not wait for that, because knowing me, it would fall off the wall and damage itself.
Once again, hook that side. Should have brought the ladder over here, but hook that side because there's a lot of play. You don't have to be dead on, which is another reason that this is DIY friendly. Just gotta be close. All right, get that side on. You can barely reach that. I'm like just under 6 feet. And this is an 8-foot ceiling in case. So you might need a step stool. You might need a bigger ladder depending on your setup. And lastly, come over here. Okay, so then you can take it off. You can move this back into position, slide it in there, and then tighten it down. That's it. They're pretty rigid for 3-piece 10-footers. That'll keep my paper from sagging. Now I gotta put the paper on. Wash your hands, people. You can see the pipe is tight with this, but it's not tight around there. Make sure that this tube spins with this paper. So how do you fix that? With this stuff. So I'm just gonna cut maybe 4 inches or so. You're gonna need a roll of anti-slip matting. You can also do this with tape, but I've seen others have success with this. I cut this down into strips and I wrap it around the pole. That gives it the grip that you need to keep the roll and the metal support tubes kind of as one. So what I'm doing is I tape these things down. My pole is 10 feet and my seamless is 107 inches. So if you have the same setup and you don't cut it down, you need to put these grips about 8 to 10 inches in. So I wrap it around like that and then I tape it down. And I found that doing it this way is a little bit easier. Got to do this on both ends though. Okay, so my third one is a white seamless, again, 107 inch from Savage. And if you open it and keep it in the box, you just open one end of the plastic. Just do that. You want the back side of your paper to be the front side of your backdrop. So that means this end to go in. Take that side off and then slide this in. Try to work it. And I'm gonna push it. It's gonna hit the back wall. Give me some resistance. See it go in there. You can come up here and put that on. You can take it off. You can move this back into position, slide it in there, and then tighten it down. You can see my first attempt, this actually fell all the way out. So this method, much better. Put it on the pole, tape it down first. That's the way to do it. By the way, I know the lighting and the sound is probably not that great, but this is the first of 3 videos about how to set up a home studio without dedicating an entire room to it. So
seamless in the living room. I'll handle lighting and sound next. So subscribe if those things interest you. Thank you. Bye.